August 14, Explosive Pro Wrestling proudly presents the Telethon Bash, a one-night-only charity event helping out the Telethon kids, where we will have a tournament to decide the #1 contender for the EPW title and decide who will fight in the main event of Reawakening 9. This is your countdown to EPW's Telethon Bash.
So EPW had this great idea for a Telethon Bash to have a #1 contenders tournament to main event Reawakening. Now, it's been about 2 years since I've had a singles run going for the belt, and they've chosen me to be in this tournament along with all the other best wrestlers in EPW, and I think this is a golden opportunity for me to get back on top.
It's really a big matchup, and it's one that could put Sebastian Sander on the map. I mean, if you could score a victory over someone of the caliber of Shane Haste, are you kidding me? That's really going to raise some eyebrows. It's really going to get people to notice him, and more importantly, that's going to get him one step closer to being the main event of Reawakening, which at this stage of his career, well, let's just say it could make his career.
Alright, I'm a little biased here. I want Seb to go in there and make an example of Shane Haste. Shane Haste is a top guy, and I believe Sebastian Sander will be a top guy.
So in the first round, they've got me up against Sebastian Sander, and I've seen this guy. I've been in the ring with him for a little bit, and the guy can kick ass. Now, as far as ass kicking goes, he's a little bit below myself. See, when I see the big guy, him in his basketball shorts and singlet, I just see a cuddly little bear. And like all my childhood toys, he's just going to end up in the trash.
I believe that the Telethon Bash is Sebastian Sander's night. He's been held back, not in the sense that EPW has held him back, more in the sense of Team All-Star have been getting him ready for this point. And this is the match, Sebastian Sander versus Shane Haste, where Sebastian Sander is going to show that he is a top player in EPW.
Now, Shane Haste, once again, multiple EPW champion. He's been to Reawakening. He knows what that's like. Sebastian Sander, not so much. This guy has really shown so much promise in the last few years, though, that I don't think there'd be a single person in the EPW locker room who'd be surprised if Sebastian Sander found himself in the main event of Reawakening. I mean, he's got all the talent in the world. The question is he too focused on the blackest hour? Are they gonna target him and take him out? Who knows? Has he got the experience to take Shane Haste to his limit? There's so many questions, and they're all gonna be answered at the Telethon Bash.
On a personal note, for Shane Haste versus Sebastian Sander, I hope Sebastian Sander squishes that jerk Shane Haste like a banana.
In Shane Haste, we have a wrestler who's achieved it all in EPW. He's been to the top, he's been the EPW champion, he's main evented Reawakening, he knows what it's all about. And in Sebastian Sander, we have a guy who's capable of doing it all. Sanders won the Rising Star Cup, so we know that he's capable of winning in a tournament type scenario. Does he have the game? Does he have the skill to beat Shane Haste at this point of his career? It's definitely the biggest match of his life up until this point. And if he can get through Shane, then I think he's capable of going on and winning the tournament.
So in the finals of this, really, you're going to be looking at Shane Haste against Mikey Nichols, the top two guys. Now, we're both really good, I'll give you that. But when it comes down to it, there's no real way of telling who's going to win this one.
This is Sebastian Sander's night. It's his time to prove that he can go through the very best EPW talent and go all the way to the top and win this tournament and get himself into the main event of Reawakening. That's what we've been working for 3 years with Sebastian Sander, and he's ready.
We've got Jay Taylor and David Storm one-on-one. I mean, David Storm just won the Invitational Tournament in 2009. Jay Taylor just captured it in 2008. These are two men in very different parts of their journey to the gold. David Storm, he's been there before. He's held that belt. He wants so badly to hold it again, but maybe Jay Taylor's just a little bit more hungry. See, he's never had that belt around his waist, and I know how badly he wants it. Now, David Storm has been mentoring Jay Taylor a little bit over the last few years, but, well, let's just say there's a little bit of bad blood between them now. There's been a few instances where you can just see friction. You can just see a little bit of rivalry between them, and this all came to a head when Jay Taylor gave a cutter to David Storm at the conclusion of his title shot against Jamie Dura.
Jay Taylor's one of the hardest working guys in EPW. He started off at the bottom, worked his way all the way up to the top. I mean, last event he was in a main event, a war of a main event with Jamie Jura.
I don't need anybody to sell me on the championship qualities of Jay Taylor. I've been following his career for a very long time now. Been trying to mentor and steer him on the right path.
I think coming into this match with David Storm, he's going to have to bring something to the table to get the job done, whereas David Storm has been on the top of EPW since it started. And he's not going to give up his spot to someone like Jay Taylor without making Jay Taylor earn it.
So I guess I could run into Jay Taylor in this tournament, and he's done a fair bit in the last few years. He's bumped himself right up, shown that he's a contender, but compared to me, I don't think he really has what it takes. He's still a bit green. I know we've never really faced each other in the ring, but there's a reason for that. It's not quite up to my level.
I think despite the fact that Jay didn't walk away with the gold at Hell or High Water, he can hold his head high and know that he's on that championship level now. He is one of the best guys in EPW.
He was just in a war of a main event with Jamie Jura, and I can imagine he's hitting the gym harder than ever before. And to tell you the truth, he's got to, because he's getting in the ring with David Storm, someone who's been at the top since EPW started. And David Storm's not going to lay down or let someone like Jay Taylor go through without having to fight for it.
We've crossed paths at shopping centres and also at some of the market shows, but we've never gone one-on-one on a major EPW show. So I'm really looking forward to the challenge, and really looking forward to see exactly how good Jay has become over the past few years.
David Storm against Jay Taylor. Usually I'd go with David Storm, but after the last show we saw a bit of a nastier streak, a bit of a do whatever it takes side of Jay Taylor, and I think that's really what's going to push him over the edge and put him over David Storm.
Quite simply, the game plan for Jay Taylor is the same that it is for anybody else. I don't look too much at what my opponent's strengths are, I concentrate on what mine are, because I believe that when I'm at my very best, there isn't anybody that can beat me.
It's Explosive Pro Wrestling's Telethon Bash. It's happening August 14 at the Cyril Jackson Center in Bassendean. It's going to be a huge show. David Storm going one-on-one with Jay Taylor. We've got Shane Haste and Sebastian Sander, Mikey Nichols and Bobby Marshall, and that huge EPW Battle Royal. We're going to find out who's going to be in the main event of Reawakening and who's going to score that shot at the EPW title. It's going to be a big show.
If you look at the list of names that EPW has chosen for this tournament, you've got plenty of experience there, plenty of former EPW champions, and plenty of guys who have main evented Reawakening. And the reason for that is they know how desperate we are to get back to that spot.
We're going to be auctioning off some awesome EPW stuff, including a sexy photo of Amber, so make sure you bring some extra cash along, and remember, it's all for the Telethon kids.
Anybody who has fought for the EPW title will tell you that that was the pinnacle of their career. Anybody who's fought the main event of Reawakening will tell you that that's the pinnacle of their career. So when you combine those two factors, the main event spot at Reawakening and a chance to become the EPW champion, you are going to have some of the most desperate and fierce wrestling you've ever seen in your life.
It's going to be a big night. Like I said, it's all for charity. You can get all the details from epwperth.com. I can't wait to see you there August 14th.